Denzel Daxon is a nose tackle slash one technique defensive tackle from the Bahamas who has a lot to prove as he enters his first season with the Dallas Cowboys. He came to the United States in 2016, moving to Miami and playing for Carroll City Senior School. He was one of the better players in the gridiron that year and was ready to get things rolling. Committing to Ohio, he did well in his sophomore year, but in his junior year, he didn't see much playing time, so he decided to enter the transfer portal. He eventually signed with Illinois, where he got opportunities at the nose tackle position. He had 27 tackles, more than doubling his career output in a single season with the team. Being born out of state with the new international rule, he will not count against the team's 90-man roster and can be added to the practice squad as an extra member. Will McClay is excited about this addition, saying that this is a big advantage for the Dallas Cowboys as well as for Daxon, who gets an extra spot on the practice squad with an open door to develop. With questions about our defensive tackle position, this could be a great opportunity for him, Cowboys Nation. So when you're taking a look at Denzel Daxon, we know that many of these one techniques and nose tackles don't have to have standout stats. Finding a guy that can be able to stop the run and bring toughness to the interior is crucial. That's the main reason why we broke down guys like Justin Rogers, because finding the stop one technique in Mike Zimmer's scheme can make the world of difference. So on this play here, this is one of the reps where he was playing for Ohio, and we like to dig deep to see what this guy can be able to do, the negatives and the positives from this player, finding out what this guy can be able to do to be able to help this team. So you want to see if your defensive tackles are aware of their surroundings when in traffic. Sometimes they need to be slippery and find ways to close in and finish plays. This is one of the reps where he had the advantage and got the job done. So we'll go ahead and spin it. So zooming in on Daxon, you see that these guys are running a stunt in the interior, and it's a lot of traffic when it comes down to those guards in that center. But locking in on Daxon, you see he's picking his head over. He's seeing that running back having the ball and having the ability to be able to disengage and get away from that guard and close in and make the tackle. And these are the things you like to see when it comes down to that one technique position, that nose tackle position. A lot of these times there will be traffic, but you have to find ways to be able to disengage and get to the ball carrier. And playing in Ohio his junior year, he didn't see that much play time because there were other defensive tackles on the team. Sometimes you need other guys that can be able to pass rush. Depending on the scheme, by seeing his stats from his junior season, it looked like he got weeded out of the defense, but that's not always a bad thing because schemes matter, and that's part of the reason why he went to Illinois. But seeing the player going out there, having that vision and an ability to be able to get away from the guys in the interior, this was a good rep. The good thing about a big defensive tackle is their ability to be able to get in there and clog up lanes. It's great to have a guy that can get in there and flood the line of scrimmage. So he's going up against Braylon Allen, one of the top running back prospects from this past draft. And with the Wisconsin Badgers, they love to be able to run the ball and be physical. So it's good to see these type of reps in the trenches, a guy that can be able to get in there, get in the way, and get the stop right before the goal line. So we'll go ahead and split it. So Braylon Allen's getting the ball and locking in on Daxon. You see that he is all in between the A gap right there. And the thing is, you got to have big defensive tackles. We know that Mike Zimmer, he loves to have guys that's over 300 pounds. And you see that this guy is in the way, clogging things up and making things harder for that running back. And this is classic defensive tackle. Just by him sitting right there, he was the guy that affected the whole play because everybody was piled on top of him. And seeing this zoomed in slow motion, these are the things we got to lock in on, Cowboys Nation, because it's the little things when it comes down to nose tackle or that one technique. Can he be a guy that can consistently plug lanes up, getting in the way and allowing his linebackers to be effective when it matters, Cowboys Nation? Having a defensive tackle who can not only clog run lanes, but also possesses lateral movement skills is crucial. Just half a second can make a difference in some plays, so seeing this player move quickly and close gaps is impressive. So the running back's going to be getting the ball inside the A gap, but seeing the twitchy move from Daxon, sometimes these reps here with a quick reacting play can cause turnovers. And this was another one of those reps that was good to see by said player. So let's run it. So locking in on Daxon, just watching that left foot, you see that he's sliding to the left. And the thing is, when it comes down to that defensive tackle position, sometimes the sudden movement can make the biggest difference of a play. Going out there, using his hands and getting away from the guard and closing in on a running back. And this is good when it comes down to a guy this kind of size. And usually when I'm doing these film sessions, I want to see what these guys are doing right as soon as the snap happens, because that can be the biggest determining factor if you're going to be able to be effective on this play. But when you do see a guy that's over 300 pounds and can have lateral movements like this, I'm sure with Mike Zimmer and the scouting department, they caught on to this as well. Here's another play here of him displaying his lateral movement skills, just watching him just shuffle his feet to the left, watching the footwork from a guy this size, and seeing Braylon Allen getting the ball and closing in and engaging in contact. And with these defenders, you got to have guys that can be able to rally to the ball. He's not going to be the guy that's going to always make the play, but if you can have linebackers and safeties, if he's displaying these type of plays on a consistent basis, this will make the defense that much more better. When evaluating Denzel Daxon, he demonstrates many strong plays. However, there are instances where he's losing his footing. Usually the lowest man wins, but Daxon struggles to maintain leverage and stay on his feet on some reps. So it's going to be a run to the left side. You will see down blocking as far as the offensive line, but with their whole entire defensive line, they completely got mauled on this play. So we'll go ahead and run it. So watching this play here, he is low. It does seem like he does have the leverage, but sometimes you can lose your footing. Completely pancaked him and number 48. And the thing is, whenever you're getting removed off the line of scrimmage, it makes things so much easier for their whole offense, the running backs. It will completely open the playbook up. And there will be times when you're going to be going up against some stout offensive linemen. So he's one of the guys that's going to be even better as he get more stronger. Understand leverage more on a consistent basis, because whenever you're getting wiped out of these plays like this, it can be a big time disaster for the whole defense. So here's another one of those reps where he completely got washed out of the play. Lining up against that center and that guard, there's going to be a lot of reps where you're going to be getting double teamed. So making sure that you put yourself in proper position is going to be critical. The running back was able to lock in on an A gap and slice right up the field. And the thing is, you will have bad plays when it comes down to the defensive tackle position. It won't be perfect with this kind of guy. He wasn't the highest on a lot of teams' draft boards, but there are good things that this guy can be able to do. We got to break down the good plays and the bad plays, but being stronger and more stout at the point of attack, it's going to be big time, especially when we get to playoff games. So here's another play here of him going up against his center, getting good push off the line of scrimmage. You see that this guy's driving him back, but seeing that guard number 71, locking in on Daxon and attacking him from the side. And there will be plays when you might end up getting blindsided like this and catch you off guard and completely knock you to the ground. It really wasn't much that he could do on that play, but I did want to show y'all this because sometimes if you're playing that position and you get caught driving the center back, you can get clipped by a guard. So having the endurance, making sure that your body is right, it's going to be huge when it comes down to this season. But with our defensive line coach, I'm sure that we can be able to get this guy going. When you see him playing defensive tackle, you may observe him struggling with double teams at times, but he demonstrates physicality in some reps and can free himself to make a play. This is one of my favorite plays from this player, and these reps here is how you can be able to earn more playing time on the field. So we'll go ahead and run it. So zooming in on Daxon, you see that center and guard are trying to double team him, but looking at his hand extending and completely removing that center. And I love to see the physicality when it comes down to a guy like Daxon, removing this guy out to play, going up against that guard, disengaging, and getting to the running back. And you love to see these kind of plays, Cowboys Nation. Whenever you can be able to have a guy that can be able to use their hands, strike these centers, and next thing you know, he's close to the running back and finishing the play. This is how you can get Mike Zimmer fired up. And I'm not saying that this guy was doing this all throughout college, but it's good to dissect and see what this player can be able to do and how you can be able to utilize this player and bring out the best in him. So finding a guy that can be physical and set the tone will be big in the regular season, as well as the postseason. It is the only way the Cowboys are going to be able to take that next step. So on this final play here, you like to see the effort from a player like Denzel Daxon. Sometimes you will be in awkward positions, but having that will to keep fighting throughout the play and getting a hand on the player can be all it takes to bring him down to the ground. So this is another one of them ones that's good to see. So let's run it. So watching Daxon going up against that guard, and it's great to see these trenches battles. Zooming in and seeing this guy sticking his left arm out. These are the things that you won't be able to see, but you will see this on the JC network. That left arm clipping him. Next thing you know, this guy's getting down. And the thing is, when you're playing at one technique position, that nose tackle position, you got to have a guy that can be tough in there. It's been really tough to be able to find a stout defensive tackle for this team because that's how you bring out a better DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons, a lot of these guys on the defense. So finding a stout defensive tackle in Zimmer's defense, it'll make a world of difference, Cowboys Nation. So with Denzel Daxon, I believe that everything is laid out when it comes down to this player. Fresh out of the Bahamas, you play for Ohio as well as Illinois, and you get picked up by the Dallas Cowboys. They have that international rule, which is a big advantage for the Dallas Cowboys as well as Daxon. He doesn't count against the 90-man roster, and that's all the way up to the next 4 years. So there's a big opportunity, but there are no excuses when it comes down to any of these guys on the defensive line. Justin Rogers, Daxon, Mozzie Smith, Carl Davis, somebody has to step up. If this team is going to thrive when they get to the playoffs, you have to have bullies in the interior, setting that tone and getting things done. So when we do get to training camp, I will be locked in on the trenches, on the offensive side of the ball, as well as the defensive side of the ball. Because if you can't get those two right, it could look good in the regular season, but you might run into trouble when you get to the postseason. So leave a comment below, Cowboys Nation, and let me know what y'all think about this player. And do y'all think he can go out there and turn some heads come training camp? So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe and hit that notification bell because the way the YouTube algorithm works, if you don't hit it, you'll miss on fire live streams and the best Cowboys film sessions on YouTube. All right, Cowboys Nation. Talk to y'all soon. Gone.